Hello. So now we shall be looking at digestive system. Digestive system is also referred to as the digestive tract. That is the digestive system in mammals with particular reference to man. Sometimes it is being referred to as the digestive tract. Sometimes some refer to it as a digestive as alimentary system or alimentary canal. In this case, you're just referring to the same thing. So the digestive system is actually made up of organs that are responsible for breaking down or and absorption of nutrients. That is, for breaking down of substances and absorption of nutrients after the breaking down. It breaks down, the digestive system breaks down and it also absorbs nutrients such as food, liquids that we consume. The parts of that is the part that made up the digestive system includes mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and large intestine. And we also have some organs that also work together for the purpose of digestion and absorption of food substances in the body. These organs are referred to as associated organs because they are outside the alimentary system, but they contribute to the process of digestion in the alimentary system. And now let's briefly look at the organs that made up the digestive system. We have the mouth, and that is where digestion begins. Digestion normally begins from the mouth. The mouth consists of the teeth. The teeth, we have different types of teeth. These teeth, they contribute to cutting and chewing and grinding of the food we eat. The tongue helps in the mixing of the food with saliva. Anytime you perceive the odor of food, anything, and immediately the saliva is being secreted from the salivary gland. So the tongue helps in the mixing of the food with the saliva and also in rolling the food into a ball-like structure, that we refer to as a bolus. It has to be rolled into a ball-like structure because the next structure after mouth where the food is going to is like a tube. So the food has to be molded into a structure that will enable it to pass through that particular tube. And so that leads us to the next organ, and that organ is a esophagus. The esophagus is like a tube. It's muscular, and it actually serves as passage for food from the mouth down to the next organ. It is muscular, and the food there, they move by the contraction and relaxation of muscles. That is contraction and relaxation of muscles of the esophagus, and this is referred to as a peristalsis. Now the food now leads to the next organ, and this organ is called stomach. The stomach is muscular and helps in turning the food and as well secreting some juices that will be that will form part of the digestive or digestion. After the stomach, we have the small intestine, which is actually divided into the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. Then after the small intestine, we have the large intestine, where you have the absorption of water and electrolytes actually taking place. And the next one after the large intestine is the rectum. The rectum stores feces before removal from the body. Now, when we talk about the associated organs, we're talking about organs like a salivary gland, which produces saliva. As I said the other time, we're talking about the gallbladder, which is always being produced by the liver. We also have the liver itself that produces the bile, and we also have the pancreas that produces some digestive enzymes. Now, let's briefly look at uh, 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 the process, that is the digestive process itself. Like I said the other time, digestion starts from mouth. Or when it starts from mouth with digestion, or with what you describe as let me put it, a digestion of cooked starch. That's how we normally put it. After the food has been chewed, the food are actually being chewed by the teeth to expose or to increase the surface area for the action of digestive enzymes, that is for digestive enzymes to be able to act on them properly. That is why if you have noticed, when you eat something and you don't chew it properly, you go to toilet or wherever, you will see that you will see the food, the way you have swallowed it. This is common with foods like rice, foods like beans, and sometimes foods like bread. When you don't chew them very well, you will see them, even yam, you will see them in your feces. So that means digestion did not take place because the surface area has not been, exposed for the digestive juice or enzymes to act upon them. So the saliva will mix, the saliva that is produced from the salivary gland will mix with the food, soften it, and the food will now move after it has been molded into a ball-like structure for easy swallowing. It will now move through the esophagus by relaxation and contraction of muscles through a process that we refer to as a peristalsis movement. We now move into the stomach. Now in the stomach, one thing again you need to understand is that the saliva is alkaline in nature. So the medium at which the food is in the alkaline medium. So but by the time the food gets to the stomach through the esophagus, the stomach consists of a gastric juice, and it also secretes hydrochloric acid. So invariably the medium will be changed to an acidic medium. Now the wall of the stomach that will secrete the acid and some enzymes. Some of the enzymes that are being secreted by the stomach or the gastric juice include pepsin, amylase. Pepsin will act on protein. So the digestion of protein or breaking down of protein food starts in the stomach. Then you also have amylase. Amylase acts on starchy food. So amylase will continue the digestion of starch or carbohydrate that have proceeded from the mouth. So this helps in the gastric juice that's containing the gastric acid and the enzymes that are released in the stomach will help to break down the food substances. Now at this point, the food now becomes semi-fluid in nature. You see, sometimes when you vomit or you see somebody that vomits and you see the food coming out like a semi-fluid nature, that means the vomit or the food is coming out from the stomach. Now from there, the food moves from the stomach down to the small intestine. Now in the small intestine, while the food is in the small intestine, the pancreas will secrete pancreatic juice. The pancreatic juice contains the following substances, following the enzymes, contains the amylase, contains the lipase, protease. Amylase continues the digestion of a carbohydrate or starchy foods. Lipase acts on a fat, that is fats, converting them to fatty acids and glycerol. Then you have proteases. Proteases like trypsin, chemotrypsin, carboxypeptidase. All these are enzymes from enzymes that are together referred to as proteases. All these ones, they act on proteinous foods. So these are secreted from the pancreas into the small intestine and begin to act on the food. Now after acting on the food, you see that the food will have been mixed with some enzymes, and it will be more watery at this time. So at this time that is more watery, it now becomes a fluid. Now in the stomach, when the food becomes semi-fluid, it is being referred to there as a chyme, that is CHYME. While when it gets to the small intestine and it is mixed with more enzymes, and it's being torn and torn, and now it becomes fluid in nature. It is being called chyle. CHYLE. Now, the liver also produces bile, and the bile will be emptied into the small intestine. As the bile is being emptied into the small intestine, the bile helps in emulsifying fats. That is digestion of a fat. So the main purpose, or the main thing, or the main action being carried out by bile is to emulsify or to digest fats. Now, after the breaking down of all these food substances, you now have absorption taking place. Absorption means the absorption of food substances. Here means the taking in of the digested food substances by the body, and this happens in the small intestine. So the walls of the intestine helps in absorbing the digested food substances into the body, and this is possible because the walls of the intestine are lined by finger-like structure. This finger-like structure that we refer to as villi pura, that is villi pura, and singular philus, phillus, that's the singular. So the wall of the small intestine is lined with this, and then with villi. Villi helps to increase the surface area to allow or facilitate or to make the absorption of food substances to take place. So you now have what we have taking place, and the process that is taking place there is the process of a diffusion. There in the lumen, that is inside the canal of the alimentary of the small intestine, you have digested food substances there. The digested food substances are there, plenty in the blood, plenty in the lumen. That is, the digested food substances are there, plenty, that is in higher concentration. But inside in the blood that are in the blood vessels of villi, we have a lower concentration of digested food substances. So by the process of diffusion, digested food substances will now move from inside the digestive tract, inside the alimentary tract, inside the alimentary system, where you have a higher concentration, to inside the villi, where you have a lower concentration of digestive substances. And so this is the process by which absorption of nutrients take place. Now, in the large intestine, we also have absorption of water. Water is being absorbed. So what you now have, that is in the remaining thing that you have in the body, you have water being absorbed back into the body. Water is very essential. Water is very important, and that is one of the reasons why we normally say that it is always good to take enough water. At least it's going to aid digestion. So after water has been absorbed in the large intestine, what you have remaining is usually solid, and this will be stored, usually being stored in the rectum. Will be stored in the rectum, continually being stored in the rectum until after some time, when the rectum is a bit elastic, when the rectum cannot take it again, and that is when you feel pressed. It's going to send a signal to your brain, and your brain now send a message that yes, you need to go to toilet and empty. And so this solid is later being removed as feces through the anus.